And what I'd like you all to know in my conversation with a true source and somebody I was working a little earlier during the day is within you is the seed of God, the true source. And I want you to think about that. Within you is the seed of God, the true source. As you know, I tell everyone every night, look in the mirror and say your name, which I will use mine, Michael, I am unlimited. And you say this very vociferously 3 times. Michael, I am unlimited. Michael, I am unlimited. Michael, I am unlimited. And the reason I say for you to do that is for you to start a progression of frequency, vibrations of energy. For the soul is happening to know that on a conscious level, within you is the seed of God, the true source, or the true source, if you will. It resides within you because you are made in the image, as the Bible said, of God, the true source. And as I say, what the true source said, everything that exists is an aspect of me. So that means that that seed, that DNA, that frequency, that vibration that resides in you allows you to accomplish, succeed, and do anything you so desire. Now let's look at that for a moment. You have free will and free choice. Do you want to create chaos in your life? Go ahead. But because that seed resides in you, you have the power and the gift to be able to change that negativity into loving, positive work, joy, happiness, relationships. It's the stubborn part of us that doesn't recognize the seed of God, the true source within us, that makes us have the gift of being unlimited. You chose to reincarnate. You chose to be in our body, in your body. If I'm in a spiritual body, and I'm a vibration, frequency, and energy, that's what we are, then how can you smell the flowers, feel the sun, enjoy food? One of my favorite things, by the way. How can you do that without having an embodiment? So recognizing within you and accepting, first you have to recognize the seed of God, the true source. The true source is deep within you. And it's up to you to harness that seed to help it grow. The question is, how do you make it grow? The answer is, accept that you are an aspect of God, the true source. Just like your children are an aspect of you and your grandchildren and grandparents and so on. Accept that. That is not blasphemy. It's realizing what your essence is. Now once your essence, and you realize that essence, then you have to look at, well, does God, the true source, do anything? Yeah. So why can't I do anything? Well, you can't do this because. Well, who said so? And you did. Or you learned that and believed it. You know, many religions talk the only way you can get through to God, the true source, is through an angel or whomever, or it may be. That's false. Or maybe you can't go skiing because you're not athletic enough. Well, you just created that barrier. Or maybe you can't be a musician because you don't have the patience, keyword patience, to study to be a musician. You see, everything we learn in our life, most of it we learn from others. But if we meditate and we ask to connect with God, the true source, or true source, synonymous, your mind, your thoughts, and your body will be filled with everything. Another story is that I had disintegrating discs. And the doctor told me, a world-famous doctor, I got to say, well, you're over 35, you got to learn to live in pain. Great. So I learned to live in pain. And then I learned about spirituality. I think I was 36 at the time, or the end of the 35th birthday. I learned about healing, and I kept asking for healing. And I don't know when it happened, 4 or 5 years later, whatever, the pain went away. Living on the farm, I was lifting up 100-pound bales of hay and 80-pound bales of grain. No problem with the back. And I was pulling out some barbed wire, and I pulled my rotator cuff. Well, boy, that was painful. And so my deceased wife, oh, you got to see a doctor. And he said, well, do this little exercise, but it'll just heal itself. All right. And he said, no, we'll have to have an operation. that ain't going to happen. So I began working on myself and threw away the pills. And within 3 weeks, it was healed. 6 months later, pull the rotator cuff. Ask the true source for healing. It's in your hands. I don't have any preconceived notions. Boom. I was healed. And one of my former students, Michael Sparks, his father had torn some ligaments from his arm. And in tearing the ligaments from his arm, he couldn't raise his arm. And I had a big gathering of about 35, 40 people. I said, let's heal, let's hold hands, and let's ask for God, the true source, to heal him. That's where the group got together. And we worked on him for 10 or 15 minutes. He was kind of embarrassed because he didn't believe in it. And then we dropped our hands down, and he was able to lift his arm all the way up and down, completely healed in 10 or 15 minutes. So when someone brought up about working with groups do healing, yes, it's amplified. But the truth of the matter is, it's because the seed within you of God, the true source, you have the power individually, by yourself, to heal yourself of everything. And I remind you of the story when I was performing a wedding and this woman was saying she was given 6 months to live because she had cancer. And she said that was 5 years ago. And I said, what'd you do? I ran through the fields in my mind 7, 8 times a day saying I was healed, I was healed. And 6 months later, because that's what they gave her to live, they couldn't find the cancer, and that was 5 years ago. See how powerful we are? When we realize that we are an aspect, the seed within God, the true source, resides in us, we are unlimited. What's interesting is almost every self-made millionaire who lost it becomes a millionaire again. Why? Because within them is that seed of belief that they can achieve everything. Now, everyone is an aspect of God, the true source. That seed resides in you. Do you think God, the true source, said, you should be wealthy, you should be poor, you should be sick? No way. We can create anything in our life. The reason is because it's just an experience. Everything's an experience, like going out to dinner and having a fine dinner. It's an experience. You can create $1 million, you can create $100 million. But you can't take it with you, so it's an experience. Everything on this planet is within your ability to create everything. To create love, joy, happiness, healing, prosperity, abundance, even spirituality. Recognizing that you came here to experience everything. And vicariously, through your soul to the oversoul, God, the true source, lives through you and experiences through you. Pretty amazing, isn't it? So I want to leave you with this thought, that you are unlimited, that you're an aspect, that seed of God, the true source, is within you. And you can create anything in your life because everything is temporal. Just temporary, because you're going to leave your body sooner or later. And the only thing you'll retain is the experience. And remember, everything has energy. We talk about the exchange of energy, love, joy, happiness, prosperity, and abundance, health, helping one another. Everything is for us to experience. That's what you hear about. And you're in service. Meaning, when you're in service, is to do the work of, by, and from, and with God, the true source. That's what we're in experience for. That's what we're in service for. To lovingly and help one another. So think about this for a moment. If everybody was here to help one another, loving and joyous, what this world would be like, what we could create. So I leave you with this thought. Each night, say, I am unlimited, using your first name. The second thing, meditate. Those of you who I have not had the honor of working with and talking about getting the 108 items, give me a call. That just speeds up everything. Everyone, have a great week. Ask for healing. Ask for whatever your heart so desires, because there are no limitations as long as it is right action. Thank you, everyone. Good night. I appreciate it.